Yeah, guys. So in this video, we are going to see how to create a stored procedure and how to do CRUD operations using stored procedures. Okay. So what is stored procedure? It's a group of one or more precompiled statements or SQL statements into a logical unit, and it stores as an object inside the database server. And SQL Server builds an execution plan when the stored procedure is called for the first time and stores them in a cache memory. So this plan is reused by SQL Server whenever we execute it later on for further operations. Okay, if you call it later on, the same execution plan will be executed every time so that it is faster than normally. Okay, and one more advantage is if you use stored procedure, we are not showing the query inside the code. Inside the code, we'll specify the procedure name. That's it. We never show the query. Which query we are executing inside the procedure, we are not showing to the business logic. That is another advantage of stored procedure. Like as I told you, something called SQL injection, SQL injection attacks. Those attacks won't be there if you go for SQL Server stored procedures. Okay, let's create. Already we have table, right? We'll use the same table and we'll create a simple procedure here by using create procedure, procedure name, and then as begin end is a common syntax. Inside that you can write a query. This is the way to create a stored procedure. Let's switch to SQL Server. So we'll connect to our database. We'll open a new query. Inside the query, I need to open my database. So I said use Prakash. So I opened my database. We went to our database called Prakash, and then what I'm writing here, I want to see select star from employee. So let's run this query, and you have 3 rows. So now I'm creating a procedure. How do I know that procedures are there or not in my database? Expand the databases. Go to your database name Prakash. Let us say Prakash, and here you can see programmability. Expand this programmability. You will find stored procedures. See, already we have 2 stored procedures. PRC save record, PRC show EMP data, like that. To create anything, you will get all the stored procedures in this area. Okay, let's create a new procedure now. So create procedure, procedure name PRC underscore, because there PRC is there. So I'm giving here, let us drop those procedures if you want to drop. Let's drop those procedures. Drop procedure, procedure name. Dropping means we are deleting. PRC save record I'm deleting, and PRC show EMP data, that is also I want to delete all the procedures which are already there, deleted. Now you can see if you refresh this, you will not have the procedures in our database called Prakash. See programmability, store procedures, nothing. You don't have any store procedures. Now we are creating. So how to create procedure, procedure name PRC underscore insert, or let's say show employee data, right? Show EMP data, that is my procedure name. I don't have any parameters, so that you can leave it empty. As begin end, in between this I can write a query that I want to execute. What is the query I want to write? Select star from employee. This is the query I wanted to execute whenever you call the procedure. See guys, command completed successfully. We have created a stored procedure. This is what creating a stored procedure. Now we need to call this, right? We need to execute the procedure. Executing stored procedure. How to execute? exec or execute, you can write it completely. Procedure name PRC underscore show EMP data. Now run it. You will get this data. That is the way to create a stored procedure and execute a stored procedure. Now what is our task? We need to call this procedure as soon as we click on my show data button in my ASP.NET web form. So from ADO.NET I want to execute this. I want to call this procedure. How to do? For that, I'm just creating a new project. So where we creating a new project. So ASP.NET Web Application.NET Framework. Click on Next. Here I'm selecting project. Here what I'm saying, ASP CRUD with stored procedures. SP. I said SP. Click on Create. Now web forms, and I'm disabling this HTTPS create. So now we are adding the same design what we have discussed. 3 text boxes, 3 buttons, and 1 grid view below that, so that whatever I'm doing, I'm able to do that. Okay. So let's add a web form, guys. Right click on this, add new item, web form. I'll tell you this web form with master page later. So right now we are talking about the first one, web form.aspx. Web form 1 is added. Design the form, guys. Let's create table. What I'm saying, employee CRUD operations using stored procedures. That is what the heading I'm giving to this. Okay. So I made it center. Now we are inserting a table, guys. So table is ready. Here employee ID, text box I'm adding here. Then name of employee. So adding another text box. Salary. So add buttons, 3 buttons for 3 operations. Insert or save, we can say. And this is for updating. And the third button is for deleting. And below that I'm adding a grid view, guys. Grid view is for displaying all the records. Okay. So go to data, grid view. So when I want to change the auto format colors, you can select whatever background colors you like. Okay. So apply. Okay. So it's ready. Grid view is ready. And let's select all. Now select this part and increase the font size so that it looks bigger. Now the first button text I'm changing as show or save data. Save means inserting a record. Here btn save I'm saying, and for this changing as btn update. The text property I said update. Third one is delete. So the ID of this button as delete, btn delete. Text property as delete. Okay, so 3 are ready. So double click on the button. So before we write this code, as soon as the page is loaded, I want to show the data in my table. Okay, so for that I want to call this stored procedure called PRC show emp data. So how to do that? As we know, first and foremost we need to write the namespaces. System.data, system.data.sql client, and what is the third one? System.configuration. And we should go to web.config. Click on yes. Go below the system.web. And what should I write here? Connection strings tag open close. And here what should I write? Name is equal to mycon or any other name you can give. Connection string is equal to whatever connection string is there, just copy and paste it. So what is the connection string we have written so far? So this is the connection string. Okay. I think it's there on my desktop. Let me check. Yeah, let's copy this connection string. Okay, my con connection string is equal to data source initial catalog Prakash integrated second equal to true. Fine. And what about this? So as soon as the page is loaded, we need to connect, right? For connection, SQL connection, CN is equal to new SQL connection of configuration manager dot connection strings of double quotes mycon. Whatever name you have given, that same thing dot to string and finally semicolon. It's ready. Let's check whether it is connected or not. So how do I check? Try catch SQL exception ex and response dot write ex dot message. And here what I'm writing, connection open or not, I'm checking. If this is successful, then we'll go ahead with the remaining things. Connect. Okay, let's run it and check it out, guys. It is working, then we'll go for the remaining things. If it is showing connected, then we can go ahead for the remaining operations like insert, update, delete, everything. Yeah, it is showing connected, guys. You can see here. So there is no issue with the connection. So we can go ahead with the rest of the operations. So what I'm doing is, I'm just commenting or deleting this, and I wanted to call. I'm writing a method, guys. Of course, I can write code here. The whole code I can write it here, like cn dot close in between now. So what I need to do, uh, I need to load all the records from my table, right? So what should I write here? Previously I was writing string query is equal to something like that, right? But now, so we are just changing a few lines of code. That is SQL data reader we are taking tr is equal to cmd dot, I mean we should have a command object, right? So without using command object also we can do it. Let's see the code what we have written. So command object we are taking, but this time we are mentioning what? Procedure name. So that is what we need to use, and this line is extra, we need to write it. So what I'm writing here, command cmd is equal to new SQL command of double quotes procedure name prc underscore. So what is that procedure name we have created? Show data, show emp data. Better to copy paste it so that avoiding errors. Okay. So with what connection? CN connection. Okay. And after writing this procedure name, how does it know that it's a procedure name? For that we have to write a line cmd dot command type is equal to command type dot store procedure. This line will tell the compiler that this is a procedure, not a query variable. That's the only extra line we are writing. Procedure name, and here this line is extra. This you need to by heart. Okay. Now what's the next? Remaining common SQL data reader dr is equal to cmd dot execute reader. It will execute the data whatever is there. Execute that query. Nothing but procedure will be executed, and that I'm going to display in my grid view. So grid view one dot data source is equal to dr data reader, and grid view one dot data bind. These two lines are compulsory, I told you, right? That's it. Let's try it and see whether we are getting data or not from the table. See guys, we have the rows from the table perfectly working. As soon as the page is loaded, we are executing. But in real time, what people will do is, instead of writing the code inside this what you call page load directly, so they will cut it and paste it here in a separate method. They'll create a method like private void show employee data, like that. They'll write a method name. Inside the method, they'll write this code. They'll call this method inside this page load event. Show employee data. That's it. Of course, both are same now. So we wrote the code inside the show employee data method, and we are calling it from the page load event. So whenever page is loaded, this method is getting called. It will go and execute all the lines of code, and you will get the data. Let's run it and see. Same output. Hope you got it, huh? What I'm telling you. So we have written the same code inside a method, and we call the method whenever the event is raised. Same way, I'm writing three methods for three operations for inserting, updating, and deleting. I'm calling those methods inside the button click event. Hope you're understanding, guys.